Hello, my name's Lynn Silverman. I'm a photographer and more recently have been working with video. I'm a professor emeritus from the Maryland Institute College of Art. So I'm delighted to be able to share this particular commission with you. And I hope this brief presentation will give you an idea of past and current projects that may be relevant to collaborating with scientists associated with Sea Grant. I would like to stress that although most of my photographic and video projects have been pursued independently, when I have collaborated with other individuals, the experience has been incredibly rewarding. Also, please note that this is a small selection from a much larger body of work I've made over the past 4 decades. My interest in process, as well as a sense of place, was central to the work I produced for Split Second, a commission supported by Serco Rail Tests Limited. This series of photographs showcases the work of engineers in their ongoing effort to monitor and maintain the condition of the rail track throughout Britain. Serco, formerly British Rail's Engineering and Development Unit, was a major industry located in Derby in the mid-90s. Under the auspices of Meeting the Challenge, Serco was keen to partner with Montage Gallery, a local arts venue, and Derby Pride Limited, an organization that was focused on raising the profile of this medium-sized town located in the Midlands of England. Although I'm a train enthusiast, I knew next to nothing about the infrastructure that supports the movement of trains throughout the United Kingdom. For 2 months, I was based in the workshops and riding the test trains operated by Serco. The focus for the commission was to interpret the range and critical nature of the work undertaken by Serco. My strategy was to meet with the managers of the 5 departments that oversee the work of the company: materials evaluation, vehicle testing and project engineering, gauge assessment, special contracts, and infrastructure monitoring. I want to show you a few pages from my notebook to give an idea of how important these conversations were in the collaboration and eventual production of the exhibition. Working with the Materials Evaluation Department, I was shown a series of Polaroid photographs showing faults and cracks in the rails and bolts, magnified 200 times. These drawings were incredibly useful in helping me visualize the work of the Vehicle Testing and Project Engineering Department. The individual cars regularly undergo bogie rotations and sway tests to monitor the stability of the carriages. The Infrastructure Monitoring Department was responsible for inspecting the track and the envelope through which the train passes. As challenging as photographing the work of this department was, it was one of my favorites. After interviewing the managers of the various engineering departments, I decided to act as a foil with my humble analog equipment. In doing so, my aim was to celebrate the instrumentation and technical procedures that Serco uses in its evaluation of the track and the envelope through which the trains pass. To incorporate Serco's sophisticated imaging processes alongside my analog photographs on the same surface, I used digital technology for making the final prints. In this photograph, which functions as an introductory image, several test trains are parked on the forecourt of Serco's offices. An intercity train can be seen speeding by on an adjacent track. Broken rail. This is a dangerous piece of rail that has been removed for examination. Using an electron microscope and Polaroid material, The metallurgy department can analyze flaws and defects in the rail track. Gauge corner cracks. The weight of the train and friction caused by constant contact between the wheels and track over time may affect the integrity of the metal. Engineers are always on the lookout for cracks and fissures on the top of the rail. Cracks have been identified on this length of track. Bogie rotation. In addition to vibrations, the lateral movement of the carriage may also cause a full cup of coffee to spill its contents. An instrument in the workshop monitors the lateral movement of the bogie, the undercarriage of a car. Acceleration. The ubiquitous cable with its male and female connectors is used in all the procedures to monitor the tracks. The vibrations of a moving train can be seen in the three-dimensional computer printout. By projecting an arc of light emanating from the carriage, this test train inspects the envelope through which trains pass. The engineers are looking for tree branches, shifting masonry, or any other object that might impede the safe passage of the train. Rock face. The information gleaned from the arc of light is recorded digitally. Printouts may be obtained from the data. I selected a particular profile of a rock face to photograph from the train's window. Although the train was moving very slowly, my high-speed film could only capture a blurred image of the rock face's profile recorded in the drawing. Platform measuring gauge. This old-fashioned instrument measures the gap between the track and platform, ensuring that a safe distance is maintained between the two. 70 miles per hour. Video cameras are strategically placed around the undercarriage of this test train, designed to monitor the track. The photograph on the left was made from the back of the train. At the same time, a video camera recorded the view of the tracks from the front of the train while moving 70 miles per hour. Spraying and grinding. The Special Contracts Department is responsible for keeping the tracks free from weeds and keeping the surface of the rails in good condition. Photographed from two moving trains, one train sprays for weeds during the day, the other grinds rails at night. Kylie's trees. In 2013, I was commissioned by the Cultural Landscape Foundation to photograph Dan Riley's landscape design for the National Gallery of Art as part of the centenary celebration for this prolific designer. The sequence of images responds to both the exterior and interior aspects of his design. I titled my piece Kylie's Trees to draw attention to the presence and position of trees planted in the garden adjacent to the West Building, as well as those trees growing in the foyer of the museum's East Building, designed by I.M. Pei. Relative time. For many years, I have been photographing cemeteries located on state lines across the United States. One of the attractions of these places is the convergence of the present with the past. This convergence is visible in how the burial site compares with the landscape adjacent to the cemetery. Cemeteries like mounds and pyramids are part of a larger story narrating the impact humans have had on the landscape. Scrolling through countless maps on Google, mile by mile, I discovered that every state in the contiguous U.S. has at least one cemetery situated on or near a state line. This realization was critical in providing a focus to the project. I like to think of relative time as a kind of national survey of these border cemeteries. More than a straightforward typology of cemeteries, the photographs reflect my varied responses to the details found in each cemetery and the site's relation to the greater environment. Like a surveyor, my tripod is grounded in the cemetery with the camera lens directed towards the neighboring state. Adopting this position was critical in thinking about the invisible line that divides swaths of land into separate states. Although there may be considerable political divisions between states, the landscape is generally contiguous, a large plot of land that we all share. Sequencing the photographs according to season is another way of noting the passage of time. The annual progression of seasons is disrupted by an occasional passing vehicle that punctuates the stillness of the photograph. Looking at all the presentations, I hope that you have begun to see the possibilities of collaborating with artists and the benefits accrued to all parties involved in the collaboration. Thank you for your attention to this presentation.